finesse worm. But another chunky one. Oh, that may be. All right, guys, look at that first cast. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Hook Them Fish. And today I want to talk about how to catch bass on beds, or in other words, how to catch bass when they're spawning. All right, guys. So when you're fishing for bass, and say you're walking down a bank or you're in a boat trolling a little bit, and you see a bass on a bed. Now you want to catch that fish. Well, that's called sight fishing. When you see the fish, and basically you throw your lure down there, and you can see everything, every twitch, everything that you see with that lure. You see the bass hit it and everything like that. All right, guys. So I'm going to show you a couple baits that I like to use while I am bed fishing. That's what it's called, bed fishing. When you're bed fishing for bass, when they're on there spawning. And sight fishing for them. The best colors I like to use are the more brighter colors, the more colors that you can see from the boat or from shore on the bed. So I tend to use white or like pinks can work. Normally white is what I use because it helps me out when. Let me see here. It helps you out because you can see the bait. You can see when the bass has the bait in its mouth. You can just see everything. You can see when the bass hits the bait. You can just see everything, and that's when I normally go to. That's my go-to color is white, and you normally see a lot of people on YouTube or fishing in general using white. So let me show you the baits I like to use. So the first bait that I'm going to go in here. This is just a white yum dinger. That's all this is here. Is a yum dinger. I'll take this out and show you. Basically, it is just a white Cinco that is perfect. It's just absolutely perfect for fishing a bed, and it's just the action on it, everything about it is just perfect on beds. Cincos are great baits because, they have a lot of action, especially dingers, how they're like, as you can see, they flop more. They have a lot more action and they can get that can get that bass to key in on that bite. The next bait I want to talk about here is a Zoom Super Fluke. The Super Flukes are great as well because they have a lot of action, almost like a Topwater Zero spook. That's what I tend to think of when I talk about a Zoom Super Fluke. This is what it looks like if you guys haven't ever seen one. Basically, all you do is weightless Texas rig this bait, cast it out, let it sink, and all you do is twitch it. And when you twitch it, it like goes in Z's. So it goes in Z's almost like a Zara spook on topwater. That's when I would normally throw this is in the summertime or when bass are on beds. You just cruise it by the bed and just let it sink, and then cruise it. And normally when you cruise it is when that bass will bite it. So another one on my list, a Zoom Super Fluke. Another bait here that I tend to use a lot of you guys see it in my videos, and it is a Zoom trick worm or finesse worm. This happens to be the, I think 7-inch or 8-inch or 6-inch, something like that. The white trick worm. All it is a straight tail worm. You could Texas rig it with a weight or no weight. It works fine either way. With a little 1/8 ounce weight, and you cast this on that bed, and that bass gets aggressive. When you start twitching that worm and stuff, that bass has no other reaction than to bite the bait. I'm telling you, trick worms are dominant. They are great baits to use for pre-spawn, post-spawn, basically anything. But when you're bed fishing, trick worm's the way to go. Just a couple more examples of good baits that you can throw on beds. Here is a white 1 ounce jig. This is a Strike King 1 ounce jig here with rattles in it. The rattles are even better. Get that fish's attention more when the rattles are going off and you're jigging that bait around and the rattles are going off. The bass is wondering what that is, and it comes up and grabs that bait. That's another key factor, and especially if you put a trailer on here. This is a Zoom speed crawl on the back of the, and then what I would normally do is cut the trailer or cut the skirt maybe a little bit. Good to go, man. Dominant baits for bed fishing. I'm telling you, great baits. Now I'm going to get into how to fish a bed when a bass is on the bed. So when you're fishing a bed, basically what you want to key in on is not moving the bait or moving the bait at the right time. If that makes sense to you guys, moving the bait at the right time. So what you would normally do is you'd cast onto that bed real slowly. Say you cast about a foot or two away from the bed and then work the bait real slow. As this happens, what you would tend to do, or what you would want to do, is if the bass scurries off or swims away real fast, do not move that bait. Just leave the bait there, because then the bass will come back real fast. It's not going to leave that bed for a long time. It's going to go away for about maybe 10, 15, almost 20 seconds, and it's going to come back to the bed. Basically what you would do is you would just leave that bait there, and if those bass come back, as soon as they come back, just give it a light little twitches, and then maybe one that goes up and then down, and then just twitch your bait a little bit. And as soon as that bass goes away, I never move the bait. Don't move the bait when the bass goes away, because it's mad when it shoots off, and it'll come back real fast. You can tell that they're mad. That's when you normally key in their baits, is when they, or key in the bites. When they come back and you twitch that bait is when those bass are going to come grab that bait. Alright guys, so another bait that I want to talk about here real quick before we end this video is the live target bluegill. This is a square bill kind of bait, only dives to about maybe 5 feet, 4 feet, something in that range. And this bait is deadly. When the bass are feeding, they do not want, or when they are spawning, they do not want bluegill or anything around their beds. So they get real aggressive, and they'll come up and they'll eat basically anything. So if you run this thing real slow along the bed, or if you have your rod up and reel this real slow along the bed, that's normally when you will get the bite, and the bass cannot resist then to bite the bait. Just real fast before we end, a couple more examples of just some bed fishing baits if you guys were interested in any of these. As you see here, here's a Gander Mountain toad. Here's a Bitsy tube. Here is a pink brush hog, and here's a Strike King little beaver style bait. Just here's a straight tail worm with white on the bottom. Another like a smaller Cinco / stick bait, and another twirl tail worm. A chatterbait trailer, and a speed crawl. All these baits would work. Even like an older style yellow jig will work. As I said before, the white jig will work. Here's the pink bubblegum zoom trick worms. All these baits will work, guys, and I'm telling you that right now, that all these baits, even if you picked one of them to bed fish, you'll catch fish off of them. You won't be disappointed if you go bed fishing and use one of these baits. I promise you guys that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry for the lack of fishing videos, I guess. It just snowed about 6 inches. There's about 2 inches on the ground still, and it's supposed to be about 60 all week. The rivers are dropping. Where we river fish, they didn't get much snow, so the rivers are dropping, and we hopefully can get out there at least twice this week. So stay tuned, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this bed fishing video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We're almost halfway to our 1,000 subscriber mark, and we will see you guys in the next episode.